Gunter, come here, you little creature. Gunter, don't do. Because then you've been a gymnast for you. Oh, please don't get in Daddy's shot. Oh, God. Trying to ruin every shot I've got. Oh, getting him in my car here. Hey, how you doing? After a quick break. The old car right here. Woohoo! Yeah. Oh. What did you just see? And let me tell you, if I was Richard Bruce, and I'm not, Richard Bruce, a fascinating young man, and yes, I am a fascinating young man, not a young man, but a young man all the same. If I was Richard Bruce, I would be, doing something like that, right? Welcome to America. Welcome to America, all right? The land of the home, the free, and the fucking brave, all right? We got this. Is there an Armageddon type reality coming to this country? Who knows? Martial law? Who knows? Probably, maybe, I don't know. People of a certain socioeconomic status have been purchasing or will purchase or are in the process of purchasing, such as myself, what they call a golden parachute, and that means property in another country on this side of the world. In other words, somewhere south of the border in North America, or further south in Central America, or further even south in South America, which I was blessed to discover and explore only a few years ago. And some of you who have been watching my show for a number of years have seen some of that footage of the lovely Peru. And that trip, that expedition was in 2016. It's 2019 right now. I've been able to, fortunately, to go on trips every year since then. And the upcoming trip is in February of 2020. 2020, right? Perfect, clear vision, okay? And in February, we will be going to Bolivia. Bolivia, right? And maybe to see the Aymara people, maybe to see some their portion of Lake Titicaca. Not Machu Picchu, but Lake Titicaca. Maybe to look at some of the star people's theories. Maybe look into giants. Giants, the country right near there, Argentina. Argentina hasn't always been called Argentina. It was before Argentina was called Argentina. It had, the name of the country was Patagonia. Patagonia. What is, I'm very into etymology and into names. What does Patagonia mean? Well, Patagonia means the land of the giants. Okay? I'm not talking about giants of industry, robber barons, etc., Bill Gates or something like this. I'm talking about literal giants. Big people. Big fucking motherfuckers, alright? They could crush you with one hand. So where do these accounts about giants only just 100 or so years ago? Well, let's start with old Honest Abe. Abraham Lincoln. You ever heard of him? Get your fucking mind right, huh? Get yourself up to speed. Abraham Lincoln, in one of his most famous speeches, referred to the giants looking out over, Niagara Falls, just like he was while he was making the speech, saying that those that came before us, the giants, behold this very same sight that we are beholding now. So as recently as Abraham Lincoln, the reality of giants in the world was accepted by everyone. Hold that into juxtaposition today, where giants are a thing of myth, a thing of fancy, a thing of a children's story. The Jolly Green Giant, right? It's the vegetables that you may eat, packaged, frozen, processed, lots of Monsanto stuff in them. Jolly Green Giant, ho ho ho, Jolly Green Giant. It harkens a memory to me when I was a child. And when you're a very young child, your friends or your best friends are actually determined by your parents. No mystery there. And my best friend at that time was Kyle Abraham, and I hope I'm not amiss by speaking his name. I can maybe later edit this out. But Kyle and I had a favorite game, and it took place under a blanket, and no, it was not playing doctor or anything like that. We were very young, and the game kind of went like this. We'd come to the house, and then Kyle would usher me into his room for the experience, which is a repeated type of a ritual, is really what it was. And so we'd get under the blanket, and then he'd get out of the blanket and then go over there to the record player. A record player is something, for those of you who are millennials or were born within the last 20 or 30 years, a record player is a device that you often see in museums now. Actually, I think they're coming back in popularity, but it's where as a vinyl or polypropylene disc is engraved with amplitude modulation grooves, which record or have recorded music and or sound on them, and they are played back with a stylus or a needle that expertly, rides in these grooves at a certain RPM, either 77 or 45 or something like this, to recreate these musical tones, or whatever it is, a drama, movie, speech, something like this. So he put in this record, and I don't know exactly who made the record. I can tell you about another record, but I don't want to talk about that right now. But it was a narrative, it was a story, it was Jack the Giant Killer. This is a myth that we're all familiar with, an Anglican, myth, story, fairy tale, right? Fairy tale of Anglican origin, meaning Germanic or Welsh or Scot or Norwegian, Swedish, not sure. It's probably all of the above. Anyway, Jack had the beanstalk, and over there it grew very tall and everything, and his mama didn't have any bread to eat, and so he had to go, maybe steal some gold or something like this from a giant. And when he got up there, he heard a loud booming voice. I can almost hear that voice right now. I can almost hear that voice. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. At which point, in shock, terror, in shock and awe, and traumatic, display of behavior, we would throw open the sheet, the blanket, and run out of the room screaming, because the giant was near. That's that part of the recording. And I enjoyed this ritual. I'd have to be fair in saying that Kyle enjoyed it actually a lot more than I did. And so what we do after that is repeat. Yeah, you get under the blanket again, you put on the record player again, finally you're listening to it, and finally the voice that comes on says, fee, fi, and you throw open the blanket, and and you run out of there. That's called a ritual. Over and over and over, until our parents made us stop. Which couldn't have been soon enough, because I was definitely tiring of the ritual. As you can see, it's a ritual that I remember to this day. Let me tell you, there was any type of fee-fi-fo-fum giant after my ass now, in modern day in America, I'd have something for his ass, huh? That's it. It's called Sig Sauer. Don't fuck around. We don't fuck around. That's all I've got for right now. Thank you.